Hello, my name is Jason Perkins, and I'm a Georgia workers' compensation attorney. Today I want to talk to you about temporary partial disability benefits. And what this has to do with is whether you can receive money from workers' compensation if you're working after your injury. Temporary partial disability benefits are Georgia's way of paying you under workers' compensation when you have an injury at work that limits what you can do, but you're able to go back and do some sort of work. You may go back to work with the employer that you were hurt at on a light duty job, or if you've left that employer, maybe you go back to work for another employer. But you're not able to earn as much as you were before your injury. This may be because your restrictions make it where you can't do the job that you did before, and so you're placed in a lower paying job. And it can also be because those restrictions limit how many hours that you're able to work each week, or because you have to miss some time to go get medical treatment at the doctor, so you're not able to work as many hours. In any of these situations, you may be eligible for temporary partial disability benefits. How temporary partial disability benefits are calculated is an interesting thing to understand. What Georgia law says is that you look at what your average weekly wage was before you got hurt for your injury. So what that means is they look at your date of injury and they take the 13 weeks before you got hurt and they calculate an average of what you made. Let's say you average $600 a week. That would be your average weekly wage. And generally, what you draw from workers' comp is based on that average weekly wage. If you're receiving temporary total disability benefits because you're completely out of work, then you receive 2/3 of that average weekly wage, up to a maximum that's set by law. So if you made $600 a week on average, then before your injury, then you would draw $400 a week in temporary total disability benefits, which is 2/3 of 600. How temporary partial disability benefits work is they look at that average weekly wage from before your injury, and then they compare it to what you're making afterward. And let's say your average weekly wage was $600, and afterwards you're only able to make $400 a week. Well, what workers' comp says is that your temporary partial disability benefits are paid based on the difference between what you're making beforehand and what you're making afterward. So in that example, there's a $200 difference between $600 and $400. So the temporary partial disability would be based on that, but you don't receive that full $200 amount. You would receive 2/3 of the difference. So in that example, you would receive $133.33 a week, which is 2/3 of that $200 difference. Now, because your wages may vary after your injury, your temporary partial disability that you receive may vary each week as well. And there's a couple of different ways that the insurance company can pay temporary partial disability benefits. They can pay them looking at each week you make, or they can take an average of the 13 weeks that you make afterward. I'm not going to get into that detail here because it can be a little bit confusing, but just understand, all in all, you should be paid 2/3 of the difference of what you're making afterward. And those benefits should be paid to you weekly. I hope you found this information helpful. If you have, please let me know by giving this video a thumbs up or liking it. And if you'd like to be notified of other additional workers' compensation videos as I release them, then you can subscribe to this channel and you'll get a notification. If you've got other questions, I'd recommend visiting our website, www.perkinslawtalk.com. There's helpful information there about workers' compensation. Or if you'd just like to set up a free consultation with me, you can do that on our website, or you can just call us, 770-214-8885, and we'll get a free consultation set up so you can get some of your questions answered. Thanks for watching today, and best of luck to you as you recover from your injury.